welcome back to The Average Kitchen. Super excited. Brand new Christmas gift here in The Average Kitchen. The Ninja Foodi Smart, Intelligent, Extra Large Indoor Grill. Yeah, indoor grill. We're gonna run this through a series of tests today and see if it can do what Ninja says it can do. Couple highlights here. It's 1760 watts, 9 by 12 inch high density grill. Great with non-stock ceramic coating, non-stick ceramic coating. It's also an air fryer, crisper basket. It's got a meat probe smart thermometer, which we're gonna do in a steak, which is kind of cool. It also comes with what they call a chef-created recipe book, 15 recipes, tips and tricks, and cooking charts. So let's unbox this bad boy and see what it's all about. All right, fancy box. Lots of packaging. All right, first thing, that's likely our book. I would say this is our ceramic coated grill. Great. So I should say while I'm in the midst of unboxing this new product, we are in no way affiliated by Ninja whatsoever. This is something that we bought ourselves here in The Average Kitchen that we wanted to do a demo for you to show you what it's all about. Obviously, we've never used it either, but we did a bunch of research, and I must say, it looks pretty cool. Actually, one of the highlights that I read was that it says you can cook from frozen chicken breasts. And stay tuned to the end of the video. We're gonna do that and run that test to see if it can hold up and actually do a from frozen chicken breast to cooked. So,
it's a big boy.
She's your big boy there. Now, I'm just trying to think the best way I can do this and still show our viewers. All right, at first glance, it's actually pretty sharp looking, pretty neat. It's big, but it's not massive. Pull that tape off so we can open up this grill and have a look. All right, so what kind of goodies do we have inside? Cardboard. There's a basket. I would suspect that that's your air frying basket, but again, never used it, so we'll have to do a little bit of reading. That's like a roasting pan tray. Let's plug it in and get that patented Ninja sound, I would suspect. Maybe not. Full digital display, it looks like. Let me have a look at the book here. Okay, so we are instruction followers here in The Average Kitchen. Well, not really, but I figured in order to give this a fair review, you should follow the instructions that the manufacturer provided. So we washed the elements that it talked about. What you'll see here is this tray goes in first, and then your grill goes in over top of that. Now, I did ask Jamie off camera here while I was washing dishes if this needs to be preheated, and it does. It says that it could take up to 10 minutes to preheat before you put your food on. So we've got 9 jumbo hot dogs here that we're gonna try. So we're gonna close this. And Jamie, if you could help me with the instructions on what it said from this stage.
I believe you hit grill.
So we hit grill.
Adjust your temperature.
So on the hot dogs in the book, it had showed low.
And then adjust your cooking time.
So it had said 5 minutes on the in the book for the hot dogs. Now it did say in the instruction manual that it will let you know when it's ready and up to temperature. So I suspect because we're on low, not high, the preheat time may be a little bit lower, but well, we'll have a quick countdown here and see how long it actually takes to get this preheated. But once it is, we'll open it up and we'll throw the hot dogs on. I did want to bring this up. I thought it was funny. This was in our package. It suggests, with a big warning label, not to take this whole entire unit and put it inside your kitchen oven. It also says not to take this huge unit and put it inside your dishwasher. However, the elements of the indoor grill does go into the dishwasher. So the basket, the air frying basket, and the grill can all go in the dishwasher, but the unit itself cannot. Keep that in mind, people. Do not put it in your oven or your dishwasher. The other interesting point while we're waiting for this to preheat was, and Jamie picked up on this off camera, they advertise a smokeless technology, which I thought was quite curious, especially given that we're gonna do a hamburger later. But it did say in order to maintain the smokeless technology, you should clean the indoor or grate, the inside grate, or screen, I believe it's called, after every use. Well, let's be honest, that's probably not gonna happen, but for the first time we're using this. We're gonna run it through, I think, 9 different tests. The first time we're gonna use this, we'll see if we maintain our smokeless technology. So it does say on one of the things that I had read that it's a no-flip technology. However, in the book, the cookbook is quite nice. It does say for the chien shows, the hot dogs, it says 5-minute cook time, turn halfway. So a little bit contradictory, but we'll see how this goes. So my wise counterpart, Jamie, told me about the progress bar, which I was not aware of. That you can see here, this was it was blank, I guess, and as it's moving forward, we suspect once this last dash, which is, I guess, dash number 6, once it stops flashing, it tells you that your grill is ready to go for the desired temperature and cook time that you chose. We'll see.
A few moments later.
So, we're into bar number 7 now on the progress bar. It'll be a mystery to see how many dashes are available. We suspect 8 now. We'll see. Okay, progress bar at 8. I can't even read what that says.
Add food.
Add food. We're gonna add the food now. So, we'll open that up. And I'm working across my body here, try not to burn myself.
Got some sizzle.
Got some sizzle on the chien shows. All right, we probably could have added a couple more, but that's a lot of hot dog right there. Oh, so as soon as we close the lid now, it goes back to the desired cook time that we had. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, and at 2.5 minutes, we'll give them a quick turn. So we're closing in on our 2.5 minutes here. I wanted to say it took roughly, and I didn't set a timer, but I was checking on my watch, roughly 8 minutes to preheat this to the desired temperature at the, what's it called again, status bar?
Progress.
Progress bar. So we grab a pair of tongs that are rubber coated, not to affect our, now did the timer stop? Yes, it did. Oh, we do have some grill marks, which is pretty interesting.
Beautiful grill marks.
What I'm very curious about this Ninja indoor grill / air fryer is, will it replace a barbecue? Now, I know some people, like my brother, for example, is a fair weather barbecuer. He does not barbecue in the Canadian winters here. Myself, I do, but my brother doesn't. So would this be a good replacement for my brother in the winter when his barbecue is covered in snow? We're gonna find out. The hot dogs just finished on the timer. So let's have a look here. They look, I must admit, they look pretty good. I think that it's like anything else that you cook. You could adjust your desired cook level to what you like, whether you prefer it to be darker or crispier or whatever. Everybody's preference or everybody's style is different. So I must say that, not that I expected a lot of smoke to come off these hot dogs, we didn't get any. So I'm gonna give those a minute to cool down, and then I'm gonna try one. All right. Definitely hot. Would I say that it tastes like it came off a barbecue? No. But is it a good alternative to doing up some dogs? Yes. All right, so the next thing we're gonna try is doing some chicken wings. So I look at this Ninja as a grill with a bonus air fryer, is the way I look at it. So let's give that a close. Let's go to Air Crisp, and we'll do, we'll do 390, and we'll probably do, now these are frozen, I just took them out of the freezer, so I'm gonna say 38 minutes. I am a bit of a experienced air fryer guy now. I've done quite a few reviews on some different type of air fryers, and with my experience, with my desired taste and my desired level of crispiness, whatever they say in the book, I usually add time. But again, everybody's different. So most of the time I just do raw chicken wings, but these are battered from frozen, so a bit of a different factor. But we're gonna throw those in, and we'll see how they turn out. So very quick turnaround on this one to get it preheated, probably 2 to 3 minutes. We didn't really time it, but very quick. So we've got our basket in there, and now we're just gonna take our pre-battered wings and launch those in.
Sizzle.
The sizzle's on. Let's try to do them all. See what happens. Let's get crazy here in the average kitchen. So I would definitely say, by looking at this, the capacity of how much you can do. Now, mind you, that is, well, that's probably like 4 pounds of wings. So I was going to misspeak there and say that doesn't take a lot of volume, but that is a lot of wings. So let's give that a close. I'll keep an eye on the timer. Halfway through, I'll probably take that basket out and maybe shake it, or just use a pair of tongs and flip it. Our wing cook just finished. Let's have a look. I must say, they look pretty awesome. The only thing I was saying to Jamie that I noticed when I was turning these off camera was, you see how this moves around a lot? The basket? I'd just be curious to see down the road if the two metals rubbing against each other, the air fryer basket and the, I guess, bottom basket, I'm not sure if it has a fancy name, if that would cause any kind of damage to the finish on the bottom of the air fryer basket and the other basket. I'm not sure. These were cooked for 38 minutes. You could see just by looking at them, or I believe you can see by looking at them, that they're quite crisp. So if you like your wings less crisp, then I would suspect you're going to have quite a bit less cook time. Now I'm going to grab oven mitts here and just pull out this basket just so I can have a look and see how much grease was left in behind. So a good amount there. So that's coming off of our wings that were the pre-battered ones. Overall, I must say, I'm quite impressed with how those look. I'm going to give them maybe 30 more seconds before I burn my face off and give one a try. Let's try one. The texture is fantastic. And I must say, this is the 4th Ninja air fryer that we've reviewed. Now, in fairness, this is the first time I've bought these specific kind of wings, but cook, the look of them, the texture of them, probably the best so far that I've done. You can see here, I've got an Average Kitchen's massive fillet of salmon that we're gonna get this cleaned up, get that grill preheated, and we're gonna grill this beautiful fillet of salmon. All right, so I've got this beautiful salmon fillet, wild caught, I must add. I'm just going to give it a little bit of salt and pepper, nothing crazy. And I did turn the grill slightly towards myself to give myself a better opportunity to try to put this on. You'll see it does say add food. So we've got it on the max setting, and we're gonna cook this for 15 minutes. Just fits. So Jamie, can you reach across and close that for me, please? So I'll give my hands a wash and we'll see how this salmon cooks up. I must say, I've never cooked fish fillets in an air fryer. I've done battered fish. I must say, I'm very impressed. It's been cooking for just over 10 minutes. To me, it looks done, but let me open this up so you can have a look. So I'm actually gonna pull that off now. The book did say 12 to 15 minutes. It would depend on the thickness. There's so many different variables, but I must say it looks pretty amazing. So I think what I'm gonna do,
There's no flipping necessary.
no flipping necessary on this, although interestingly enough, at 7.5 minutes, which would have been half of our cook time that we had originally done, it beeped, and when we looked at it, it said to flip it. So that kind of threw us off. I wonder if I'd get so lucky, and I did. Look at that. So I'm just gonna put that on a tray so that it doesn't get soggy on the bottom of it while it's cooling off. But that is a beautiful piece of fish cooked. Maybe a little on the well done side, but I think it's gonna be pretty amazing. You can definitely see some grease/oil that came off the fish. But overall, just the color on it alone, overall I'm extremely impressed. So the next thing we're gonna do is some wedge fries. So let's get cleaned up and let's do that. All right, so we preheated now at 360 on the air crisp air fry setting. You'll see here, as Jamie just mentioned, it's pretty dummy proof because it'll tell you, add the food. So I've got a bag of wedge fries, tater tots, whatever you like to call them. Let's do the whole bag. And it had suggested, I think it was 16, 18 minutes?
15.
15, 18 minutes. I'm gonna go on the high side because I like crispy tater tot fries, wedge fries. So let's wait and get those cooked up. Okay, so our salmon, I gave it a few minutes to sort of cool off. So I got my old trusty knife here. So let's cut into one of the thicker sides and have a look. So I think it's cooked perfectly. Maybe I'm a little bit biased, but let's give it a try. As one of my friends, I learned something new recently. It's called mukbang. I think hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. A Korean friend of mine said, Mark, you need more mukbang. in your videos. And of course, I had to Google it and find out what it was all about. And it's where people eat on camera on YouTube. So here is my mukbang. Oh, steaming hot. Wow, beautiful crisp on the outside of that salmon. And as you saw, the only thing I prepped that with was salt and pepper. So far of everything I've done, probably of everything I've ever cooked in a Ninja air fryer video, as I mentioned, this is our 4th one. This is the thing I'm the most impressed with. Very impressed. And I just learned that our trusty today camera guy, Jamie, has never tried salmon before. So we're gonna get him to try it. Extra fork here.
On the floor.
On the floor. Extra fork, here we go. Now, Jamie, can you hold the camera and do this at the same time?
I will try.
Steady.
Not even looking there. Oh, there we go. Just a little here.
Just a little bit.
Just getting focused here. You know what?
And?
Pretty good.
Just pretty good?
Way better than I expected.
Okay, I'll take it. So give us another 15 minutes here and we'll come back and check out these wedge fries. All right, so we're in the last 10 seconds here of our wedge fries, whatever you want to call them. They're finished, so let's open those up and have a look. The next thing we're going to do, I'm actually pretty excited to see how this is going to turn out. I cut some carrots into like coins, if you will, and they actually say you can grill them. No oil, just grill carrots. So I'm really looking forward to trying those. But in the meantime, let's open up this. Let's have a quick look. I think just the sound of them falling on the plate should give us a pretty good indication. They certainly sound crispy. Let's get this, just for efficiency purposes, let's get this warming up. And Jamie, what did it say the settings for the wedges was, or the carrots was? So grill, obviously.
Max.
Max.
12 to 14.
So let's split the difference and go 13.
Flipping not necessary.
Okay. Oh, see, it won't even let you start it without shutting the lid. So let's shut the lid. There we go. So that's
Dummy proof.
dummy proof. Well, I need that. Now this, that's your big boy right there. But let me try something a little bit more manageable here. All right. So can't even hold it. It's so hot. So let me, give me 30 seconds. All right. A little bit more mukbang here. It's going to be hot. So
Burning his face off.
because these are wedges, obviously a lot of filling, but the filling is so light and fluffy inside. Not sure if you can really see that, but super crispy on the outside. Now these, of course, are already pre-seasoned. The seasoning on them is fantastic, but overall, the cook on them is perfect. Telling me to add food, so let's add some food. Carrots, in no particular order.
Flipping not necessary.
Let's see what happens. I'm very curious with this one. So Operation Carrots, we're pulling the chute. We got 5 minutes left to cook. I took a peek. Less than desirable texture and cook on them. So I don't even think that there's any point in continuing. That worked really well, Mark. That right there was perfect. Doesn't get much better than that. Yeah, thank you. I'm here all day. I'm not even going to try one. So the next thing we're going to do is clean up the carrots that Jamie messed up here. And then we're going to get into doing some Pillsbury apple turnovers in and on the Ninja Grill. Jamie, can I interest you in a carrot? Okay.
Moving on.
Moving on. So there are no pastry chefs here in the Average Kitchen. There was a great debate on how to fold these. It was quite a discussion. Nevertheless, they don't have to look awesome, they just have to taste great. So we've got our grill preheated. So let's see how this is gonna go. Well, I knew I was gonna do that at least once. Those handles definitely appear to be handy. No pun intended, but they're a little sticky outy, which allows burning. So those cook for 10 minutes. So let's see how they look in 10 minutes. Okay, so quick review, quick peek of our apple turnovers. They look pretty good. They've been cooking for only about 6.5 minutes, but I would say they're more than done. So I've got a plastic spatula here, and let's see. So I guess you can even call that grill marks, really. Pastry grill marks, I guess.
They certainly look turned over.
They are turnovers. I would love to see Jamie bite into one and some of the apple filling hit the bottom of his chin at 700 degrees. That would be entertaining, but no. Safety first here in the average kitchen, so we'll let these cool. But in the meantime, we are going to do some burgers. Now this is going to be the smoke test to see if they have this smokeless technology. Now, Jamie, I believe that you had said, turn it back on grill, you said high and you said 9 minutes, correct?
I believe so. 5 to 9.
5 to 9. But in Canada, much different than our American friends. In Canada, you pretty much eat hamburgers well done. I know in the States, they like their ground beef a little more on the rare side, or definitely on the rare side. So I'm gonna go on the high end in here on this side and say 9 minutes. So let's get that. Now you can see, because we were pretty quick with getting those pastries off, that we're pretty much almost at temperature. So we'll give that a couple of minutes, get it up to temperature, and we'll throw some burgers on. It did say in the book as well, no flip on the burger. So we will see. Okay, so I've got some frozen burger patties. Doesn't even really, they're like an Angus style burger or whatever. It's not really that relevant, I guess. They're pretty good size patty, but I don't think you may be able to get 2 more on there. You could maybe squeeze 6, but that's a bit of a factor there. You're not doing a ton of burgers. So let's give that the 9 minutes. Flipless technology in this case here, they say. So we'll wait the 9 minutes and we'll pull those off, and we'll be monitoring the smoke.
I don't know if you can see here on camera, but there is definitely smoke coming out of the back here. I can see it. Mark, you can see that?
I can see that, and this negates the smokeless technology, especially given that we're only halfway through, literally halfway through our cook time.
Now, in fairness, we did not clean this screen as we were told to. Oh, there, now you can see it on the camera. Quite a bit of smoke coming out now.
Let's have a quick peek. Okay. Now, it did say not to flip, but I wonder if we should flip.
We can flip.
You want to flip?
Let's flip.
Let's flip.
They do look nice.
They do look nice. All right. Let's finish those off. We're into the last 30 seconds here. I don't know if you can see me, but she's smoking. As probably all of our viewers know, that if you barbecue, grill, outdoor grill hamburgers, they're probably the worst for flare-ups and causing smoke. So that's why for us, when we were like, this smokeless technology, we got to do burgers to see, you know, how that's not going to be smoky. Pretty nice looking grill marks. So with all meat, we'll give that a few minutes to rest before we cut into it and see what it's all about. But it certainly looks nice. Of all the cleanup that we've had to do, this one appears to be the most disastrous, but we'll see. Now you can see the screen here. Now we haven't tried to take that out yet, but it's definitely looking dirty. That could be a contributing factor to the smoke. However, we haven't really done anything else greasy yet today, so it's really hard to say. I guess in order to do a real fair, true test, this would have to be totally clean, and then you do burgers. Now, we only did 3, so if you did 6 burgers on here, presumably it would be quite a bit smokier. But anyway, I certainly wouldn't say it's smokeless.
There was a lot of smoke, and that screen is, I mean, you can still see through it. So
while I have you here, Jamie, why don't we try one of our turnovers here? I'm only assuming you're a frosting guy, Jamie.
of course,
Yeah, naturally. It'd be silly if you weren't.
you don't get a belly like this without frosting.
It's all about the boiler. Is that a sufficient amount of frosting for you?
Well, there's never enough, but I won't complain.
Okay, I'll take a little bit more just because I can. Let's, cheers. Wow, Pillsbury, you've done it again. I think my kids will be very happy with having to finish these off. In a few seconds, or a minute maybe, we'll cut into those burgers. I'm gonna have to give this grill a little bit of time to cool down. I'm gonna give it a wash. Then we're gonna do a steak using the built-in Ninja Grill meat probe, which should be very interesting. So give me a few minutes to get cleaned up and we'll get that going. So while we have a cool down period on our grill before I give it a clean, because I don't want to put it directly into water with the extreme temperature difference between the super hot grill and the soapy dishwater, I'll cut open a burger and we'll give it a try. So it's definitely cooked. Maybe a little overcooked for our American friends. Hey, this is just how we roll here in Canada. Hot. So would I take it over a barbecued hamburger? No. Is it a good alternative to a barbecue hamburger? Yes. As mentioned before, if you are not a year-round barbecuer, say in the north here in Canada, this is a pretty good way to get away with a grilled burger versus like doing like a pan-fried burger, which wouldn't really be that desirable. But I certainly would barbecue burgers over this. All right, our second to last test is a steak. So we've got the meat probe inserted into our steak. We're gonna turn on our grill, and obviously we're going to go to grill. Now Jamie tells me that once you plug this in, which is just down in the corner here, that some new options should pop up. Okay, preset or manual? You said, Jamie, preset is what we want to go with?
Preset.
Okay, so we want, now you choose your desired cook. So we're gonna go medium rare. We do have beef. So now, Jamie, we just hit start.
I believe you close the lid, press start.
But we still have to wait for it to preheat like every other item that we've cooked thus far today.
Correct.
Okay, it's telling us to add food now. We are good to go. One thing we were reading on while reading this, for this to come up to temp, is they do recommend flipping it halfway through, so we will do that, but I'm not sure if it will tell us to. So we'll have to see how that goes. So I'm gonna throw my steak on here now, just like so, and then we're gonna close that door. So you can see here that our target internal temperature is 112 for medium rare, and we're currently at 49 degrees. Of course, this is Fahrenheit. So as this starts to creep up, it should, in theory, cook the perfect steak. As far as the flipping, we'll wait and see, because I'm not sure, because there's no timer here. We can't split the difference on our time. So we'll see if it tells us to flip it. If it will, we'll flick the camera back on. We were racing to try to get the camera on. We didn't in time, but it did cue us to flip it. So we're at 85 degrees internal. It's only been, Jamie set a timer, 4.5 minutes so far. So if we give that a flip, I must say, kind of a strange pattern, the way that that's shaped in the middle with that sort of grease drain trap, but looks pretty cool. So we're getting there. So we'll fire it back on once, the camera back on, once we get to 112. We got it on, the camera on just before. We're 1 degree Fahrenheit there. So it's telling us get our food, 7 minutes, 22 seconds. I'll transfer that over the plate. We are now gonna let that rest. What are you pointing at? Oh, rest time, yes. It's telling us to rest, and it's actually counting it for us. So I always rest my meat always, but we'll give that maybe 5 to 7 minutes to rest and give this time to cool down. And then the last test that we're gonna do is those from frozen chicken breasts. And I think what we're gonna do with those as well is we're gonna test out the manual setting on the temperature probe once we're, say, 75% into the cook on the chicken. We'll throw a probe into one of the chicken breasts, and then we could set it to what internal temperature we want, desired internal temperature we want for cook time on the chicken, and it will track that for us as well. So a couple more cool things to check out, so just stay tuned. So we're still resting here. We're 4.5 minutes into our rest, but we thought for the last cook on the chicken breasts that maybe we should try to give this a clean. So it just says to push towards. Okay, gotcha. So that screen popped out pretty easily. Now I believe, Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe this, they say this is dishwasher safe as well.
Yes.
We're not gonna run it through the dishwasher. However, I will put it in the sink and give it a clean. I'll use the brush that it did come with as well to give that a clean. All right, so a very quick brush. Actually did pretty good job on that, I believe. Oh, there we go. So while we're here, Jamie, let's cut into our steak. Now to me, that's a pretty perfect medium rare. It's so bang on. Here, Jamie, try that piece. It's so bang on, like really nice. Steak / meat probe, pretty good. So let's push this aside I'll get that grill, I washed it really quick. I'm gonna give it a quick dry and we'll get it preheating for our frozen chicken breasts. So Jamie and I were just discussing, and I think you brought up a good point. Looking at this steak here again, it's probably a little bit closer to the rare side than the medium rare, by looking at it from this angle. So I think like everything else, once you cook on this a couple times, you'll learn what your desired cook temperature is. Let's get ready for our chicken. We're gonna go grill, medium, and what was the time, Jamie?
20 to 25 minutes.
So let's go 25. We'll shut our lid. Uh-oh. Okay, how hot is this here now? Pretty hot. We'll get this fixed. So our in-house mechanical engineer, Jamie, figured out that there's little tabs here that fit in between the two sides here. So nevertheless, we figured it out. Let's get that preheating. I just cut up that steak and I'll pull out that frozen chicken breast. As our grill is preheating for the last time, the 9th time today, I've got 4 individually vacuum sealed chicken breasts. Now, I would not normally ever do this, given that I have a family of 4. I would not individually vacuum seal them. However, the claim to fame, or one of the claim to fames of this product, was that you could do from frozen chicken breasts right onto the grill. When I bought chicken, I made these 4 individual packets so that I could do that, because if you don't and you just end up with this cluster of chicken, I suppose you could throw a big bunch of chicken all frozen together, but I think that would be less than desirable. So I really think that saying that you could do from frozen chicken breasts, I think is a cool sort of hook on this video, but I don't know how practical it is. The other thing I would say about this, and probably like all of my friends out there that are watching this video all over the world, is generally we always season our meat before we cook it, right? Salt and pepper at minimum on our chicken before it goes on the barbecue or before it goes into the oven. In this case here with frozen chicken breasts, you can't season your meat before it hits the grill. So I'm not a big fan of that, but I wanted to try this just to see what it was all about, because like I said, it was one of their sort of claim to fames that they had advertised. So we're almost up to temperature. I'm gonna give my hands a wash and we'll get that chicken on. Okay, so we're ready to put it on. I think I'll strategically sort of place these around the outside. There we go. So 25 minutes. We'll probably wait. It'll probably prompt us, but we'll wait 12 minutes and then we'll give it a flip. And then maybe the last 10 minutes we'll throw a probe in and see what our internal temperature is. I find it hard to believe that a frozen chicken breast can cook in 25 minutes, but let's find out. So while our chicken is cooking here, I wanted to go over a few discussion points. Price point here in Canada, roughly $275. I ordered this directly from Ninja Canada. So prices may vary depending on where in the world that you are. Size-wise, I got a trusty tape measure here. We're looking at roughly 16 inches wide and about 17 inches deep and roughly 12 inches high. So as far as a small appliance goes, it's pretty big. Most of us here in North America have sort of larger kitchen spaces. I know our friends in Europe and other places in the world generally tend to have smaller kitchens. So I think that would be a big factor to consider of where you're gonna store it. If storage is not a problem for you, then the size of it doesn't really matter. It's not relevant. Now, the smokeless feature, well, we've shown that when we did the burgers, that we had a smoking factor. Of the 9 items that we cooked today, the burgers were the only things that smoked. In fairness, Ninja did recommend that you clean that screen every single time you use it. I don't really think that that's reasonable to expect that people are gonna pop that off every time. However, when I did pop it off and throw it in my dishwater, it cleaned up pretty quickly. Would this replace your barbecue? I would say no, but if you are in a position where you're not allowed to have a barbecue, let's say you have an apartment, even if you have a balcony, you're not allowed to have a barbecue, or you don't have space for a barbecue, is it a nice alternative to a barbecue? For sure, it definitely is. Capacity-wise, You see here, I've got 4 chicken breasts on the grill right now. I probably could fit 2 more boneless, skinless chicken breasts. So 6 chicken breasts, that's pretty good capacity. The wings, we did, what, 4 pounds of wings? That's a fair size. So it advertises that you could do 6 steaks. I don't know. I mean, if you're talking a small filet mignon, maybe 6. But if you're talking like a T-bone or anything that's a bigger cut of beef, there's no way you're getting 6 on that grill. So, but overall the capacity compared to some of the other Ninja air fryers that we've reviewed, it's pretty big. So the from frozen chicken breast that I mentioned earlier, I think is a little bit deceiving in the sense that I don't think it's overly practical. Now, if you're a single person or maybe you're just 2 people that live in the house, maybe you do freeze your chicken breasts individually, then that would be perfect. But for a family, I would normally just take 4 chicken breasts, throw them in a vacuum seal bag, vacuum seal it, throw it in the freezer. I wouldn't do the 4 individually. Grill marks was another thing I want to talk about. I was pretty impressed. Even on the hot dogs that only had like a 5 or 6 minute cook, we still had little grill marks. So I think that was pretty slick as well. The grill versus the air fryer. Now, I look at this as an indoor grill with a bonus air fryer. It also dehydrates, but I don't really know who would use a dehydrator on a regular basis. I certainly wouldn't myself. So I look at the air fryer as a total bonus. The cookbook itself, like every Ninja product that we've reviewed, pretty impressive. Colored book. It does have some recipes of different things that you could do, as well as all your charts, which I think is the most important aspect, is the grill chart and the air fryer chart. Dehydrating as well, but again, I don't think that anybody's going to use that a whole lot, but maybe you will. Maybe I'm wrong. So overall, and again, we're not affiliated whatsoever to Ninja. We bought this with our own money. Overall, I think this is a really impressive product. I was blown away with the salmon. It did such a good job. The steak, it did a good job. Again, probably closer to the rare side than the medium rare, but that's minor. Carrots were a bit of a disaster, but again, indoor grill carrots, I don't know. We just wanted to do it because they say you could do it in the book. Chicken, yet to be discovered to see how well that's going to turn out. But overall, everything that we did today, minus the carrots, I actually thought turned out really, really well. Again, the salmon just blew my mind. I could not believe how amazing of a job it did. Yeah, so would I recommend this product myself personally if you were going to looking to buy something that was a grill and an air fryer? For sure. I don't know of, and maybe I'm wrong, and leave me a comment if there is, because we will buy it and review it. I don't know of any other indoor grill air fryers that are out there on the market. But again, correct me if I am wrong and let me know who makes it, because we'll get it and we'll review it. So we're just coming up to 16 minutes here on our cook time, left on our cook time. Okay, so looking good. Let's give those a flip and see. So they still feel like they're a little solid on the inside, but we'll give that another, say, 6 or 7 minutes, and then we'll throw a probe in maybe one of the bigger ones. So the last thing that we wanted to show, or we think we want to show, is the manual setting on the meat probe. From what we read and from what we understand, we should be able to set the probe to 165, which is the desired internal temperature for chicken, at least in Canada it is, and get it so that it will track the temperature and theoretically will stop the cook whenever it reaches that internal temperature. So when we plug in the probe here, okay, so it gives us automatically manual or preset. So if we go manual, so target temperature 165 is already what we want it to be. So it's just reading obviously the ambient indoor temperature right now. Open that up. I think, oh, this one's pretty big too. I think what I'll do is I'll throw that probe in there. Okay, so we had roughly 12 minutes left on the cook for the 25 minutes. Is that what we started at, Jamie? For the 25 minutes. So we'll set a timer. We'll see how much longer it takes, because it's showing right now the internal temperature is only 53 degrees. So we still have 110 degrees to go to get to the, or 55. We need to have 110 degrees to get to the desired internal temperature. So it appears what happens here when you throw the probe in, the previously timed session that you had set gets wiped out and it only runs off the probe now. So that's good to know. So for those of us who maybe haven't used this a lot, or some people out there who are not overly familiar how to cook meat, this is pretty fail safe. you know that your internal temperature of your chicken needs to be 165. You don't even have to worry about how many minutes you need to set it for. You just set it for that temperature, throw your probe in, and the indoor grill will tell you when your chicken's done. So we're gonna time that now and see how much longer we have to go in order to get to that temperature. All right, we missed the last couple degrees. We're scrambling to try to get the camera on. So we had done roughly 12 or 13 minutes prior, and another 13 minutes. So 26 minutes, give or take a few minutes, to get to an internal temp of the desired 165. So by feel, they feel good. What we could do as well, maybe I will do that just for fun, pull out this probe and grab my normal go-to trusty meat thermometer, and let's just throw that in there and see. So it's showing 198. Either that's really inaccurate, 199. This one is showing 193. So I'm not sure why that one was showing 165.
I'd say they're done.
I would say they're definitely done. Nevertheless, that threw me off there. I was expecting this to be pretty close and accurate to that meat probe. So we're gonna have to look into that a little bit further, but that's our video. Hope you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you on the next one.